According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, nearly 640,000 people are homeless on any given night in the United States, and the number in our area is growing.
Actually, there is an increase. So far we've had a gentle winter, and the numbers are up. Usually they thin in the winter, but as time goes by, the numbers are growing in the winter and in the warmer months.
And the economy in the past 5 years hasn't helped. This graph shows just how much the country's jobless rate has increased, with numbers just finally starting to level out. But during hard economic times, some of those people on the street take the extreme approach to find any sort of income.
KIMT News 3's Natalie Tendall is looking into panhandling in a Covering Communities special report. She has more from Studio 3.
If you saw someone on the side of the road panhandling, would you give? That's the question we asked our viewers through a poll on Facebook. And this is what we found out. 48% of those that responded said no, but 34% said it all depends. Some of those viewers say that they would give food but not money. So why do folks take to the streets in the first place? It's a question that has varying answers, but we decided to do a little undercover research and find out what panhandling is like and how much money one can actually make. It's a sight that's all too familiar. The person standing on the side of the road holding up a sign asking for money, food, or just plain help. It's not an ideal situation, but it's one that many turn to in hard times.
It's small change that helps these people, you know, little bits at a time. They're not out here to make a house payment. They're out here to get a meal. Meet
Isaac. You might think he knows what he's talking about from experiencing life on the streets. But Isaac's experience is a little different than you might think. But we'll get to that in just a moment.
Anyone can become homeless. It doesn't make any difference who you are. There's a lot of people that lose their jobs or going through divorce, or and it's really hard.
Panhandling is also becoming more common in different cities across the U.S.
In most states, it's legal for panhandlers to hold signs on public right-of-ways.
It's when they get too close to banks or are pestering people that it becomes a legal problem. Director of the Northern Lights Homeless Shelter, Joey Van Zomeren, says some of these people out panhandling, or as they call it, flying, are trying to get to a destination. But she says for others, that's how they work.
They really don't want to be assisted. They just want a handout. That's panhandling.
Van Zomeren says either way, she always stops to see if they need to be taken to the shelter. Olmsted County social worker Mary Muhorter does the same thing. She says they even have a resource book they give out.
It makes everyone aware of where all the services are so that professionals know exactly where to send folks, and folks on the street or low income know where they can get food, medical care, dental care. So it just keeps it in one place.
But both ladies agree that more often times than not, those on the streets refuse the help. They stick to working the intersections for any spare change from those driving by.
It's a personal preference. If people want to help them, then that's okay. That's entirely up to them.
But does panhandling really pay off? That's where Isaac from our production department comes back in. He's going undercover as a panhandler with the agreement that any money received will go directly to charity. We settled on a place and made a sign. Then we fitted him with a camera and sent him on his way. For 1 hour, he stood outside watching the cars and their drivers pass by.
It's very humbling. I mean, nobody looks at you in the eye. Nobody really even acknowledges that you're there. And he pulled up as far as he could go, turned his music up, and looked straight ahead.
And that's how it was for most of the time.
Overall, it's a very negative experience. It really puts you in a position to feel bad about yourself. There's nothing that you can do to feel good about it until you see that one person come along.
In this case, that one person pulled up in a van.
Well, then I noticed her window go down, and I approached her carefully, and I honestly had no idea what to do. I was like, do I just go up there and say thanks? But I walked up there, and she gave me that expression. I'm never going to forget that expression on her face, you know, of pure, like, I'm sorry for you kind of, you know, look.
She gave Isaac a $5 bill and a new understanding for those on the street.
You're so worried about what you're doing, you don't think about this person with the cardboard sign outside the window, and I'll definitely think twice about it now.
Those who work with the homeless say it's up to the individual person to decide if they want to give to panhandlers, but they did add in the long run, donating to organizations that help them might do the most good.
I definitely would encourage people to provide services or donations to all agencies that provide help for persons that are homeless to near homeless. And we know that that money is going to go to a good cause.
But as for Isaac, he says it's just the act of giving that makes a difference.
I mean, personally, giving is giving. Whatever ends up being done with the effort that you put forward or the money that you put forward, it's out of your hands. You already did something incredible. Whatever they do with it, that's on them.
Now, Isaac mentioned how hard it would be to not know what you would make on a daily basis, because if you think about it, he made $5 in 1 hour. Now, even though that's below the minimum wage of $7.25 in both Iowa and Minnesota, that $5 is tax-free.
And many larger cities are cracking down on panhandling. Places like Atlanta and Denver even have campaigns that urge people to give a better way. Their signs read, "Please help, don't give," and it's okay to say no to panhandlers.